Hi everyone, it's Molly. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to do an older technique tonight. Some people call it a floating cup. Others call it a flip and drag, where you flip the cup upside down and drag it along the canvas. But it creates some really gorgeous designs. It was actually one of the first videos that I ever posted, one of the first techniques I ever posted to YouTube, and that was December of 2018. So here we are, 2021 now. Can't believe it's passed so fast. And I really just wanted to get back to kind of, something that is just fun and beautiful to do. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight. I hope you enjoy it. Let's paint. All right, hello. I'm getting back to big canvas work. Oh, I hope the show doesn't get canceled because of everything that's going on, but for now I am in make mode. This was one of my first paintings similar to this. It was my first video that I ever posted. It is gonna be, I'm gonna layer a base coat of a color. You can pick whatever color you want. And then I made these cups that somewhere in the video you'll be able to see exactly how I made them, how I layered them. And then I'm gonna flip them over and drag them along. So it's kind of like an open cup, but it starts as a dirty pour instead of actually pouring each color into the cup. So I thought, all right, let's see, let's go back to my roots here. My pouring medium is my Floetrol Gloss Medium Varnish and GAC 800, which is an anti-cracking, anti-crazing medium. When I go thicker, that is the mixture that I use. And I am using Creative Inspiration paints this time, not Amsterdam. And my paints are much thicker. It leaves a mound on a mound, oh, really just a mound and a trace on the top of the paint. So I'm gonna start. This was I spent all morning mixing because I didn't have any with this pouring medium made up. And I mean, that part is actually kind of therapeutic to me as well. It's just mixing all the paint. And then I'll still be able to scrape my table for whatever runs off and get a really pretty color out of it. And because this is white, I didn't have to paint my sides. So I'm just spreading this around. This is actually the Loli Buffy scraper that comes with it when you buy the mats, but it actually works really well to spread the paint around. And I'm still gonna tilt this to get it even. I just wanted to get a good layer on there first. So this was a 32 ounce and I used a pretty good amount of it. I've maybe got like 10 ounces left. If you wanna know how much paint to use when you're using bigger canvases, and I recommend overestimating a little bit, you can always go to Olga from Smart Art Materials, go to her paint calculator online on her website. It's really helpful. All right. Okay, so I've got this to the point where I think I'm gonna tilt now. And I'm using my paint stands here, which are good for these kind of big canvases. And I hope you'll be able to see most of it on screen. So I'm just gonna let this run to the sides. This one was leaking a little bit, so I did put, oh, you know what? Let me pop my air bubbles first. I do see. If you don't pop the air bubbles, you'll have pinholes everywhere. this first cup. Okay, here we go. You ready? Okay, all right. So now what I'm going to do is take this off, and it will immediately, if you don't hold it down, you'll see if you let it go, the paint starts coming out immediately. And now, I'm just going to glide that on around. Ooh, I let a bunch of it go right there. So, a couple things. Like here, my canvas actually, I had my cup too hard on my canvas. So what I'm going to do is just take that paint and just rub it right there. And I almost feel like this is too much as it is with this one. I should have done less paint in my cups. Okay, I think I may do one more up this way. So starting right there. I'm gonna save that cup. Maybe I'll do a smaller one with that cup because I still have some white paint left over too. Okay, so I've got my tape off and I'm just gonna release up slowly. And I love this area right here, so I don't want to do too much with that area. This extra swirl gives it a nice, there we go. And because I did a dirty pour, these colors have blended and they're just gorgeous. Now, if you had done this as a regular open cup, where you pour the color and a big puddle of white, you do end up getting more cells. But sometimes I like it without cells. Sometimes it's just fun just the way that it is, just with lines. Just popping my air bubbles. Okay. You could technically, if there wasn't so much paint on it, leave it like this because I actually love this. So I might do another one just like this. This gave me another idea. Okay, I'm gonna stretch this one though. Here we go. Stretching it out. I'm trying to decide on the composition of where I want it to go. I'm gonna bring it back. And then I think all the way off this end. Back again. And down to this corner. Oh yes. Love it. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I do feel like I want this one part right here to come down this way a little bit. Okay, let me wipe my hands. Working with big canvases is always much more difficult. Ooh, I had a clump. Somebody asked me the other day, why do you pick so much stuff out of your paint? Sorry. I feel like maybe right through here, and then I'll tilt that a little bit. Maybe even And then I'll tilt that. And then here again. Yes, just to give it a little bit more movement, I think. And then I'm gonna tilt this. Now, with these stands, as you get paint on them, they will become sticky. So I do have the little holes to put them in. Ooh, a lot of paint there. Stretching it out to this end. Gorgeous. Just gonna fix my sides where I was holding it. Run your finger along the edges. Wow, this is beautiful. This is it. I think I'm done with this. Okay, so I actually haven't done this in a while, so I wanted to show you how I do the cup. You have to be careful because sometimes it will get the entire top if you don't do it fast enough. I will say, if you are doing this, please be careful. If you're using fire, if you're using something sharp, please be safe when you're doing this. But so I'm just going to very lightly touch right there, and then I'm just gonna try to poke a hole. And you may have to do it a couple of times. There we go. What I'm doing there is just creating the air flow, because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this cup, flip it over, and then drag it, almost like an open cup, but I'm going to layer them all in here first. So when you do that, it's gonna suction, and if you don't have this hole here, then the paint won't come out. It will literally just be stuck to the canvas. So what I'm gonna do after that is just cut a very small piece of tape, and you wanna make sure your hole is big enough. If you need to just, again, and kind of wiggle it on around in there to get it a little bit bigger, that's fine. If you notice you're still getting suction, you may need to make a couple of holes. But then all I'm gonna do is just tape that up. And I'm gonna use my cup like regular. So I'm gonna make 3 of those because I'm gonna use 3 for my canvas, and then I will layer the paints. Okay, so here is my paint. You can see it's kind of a thin consistency, not like my Dutch pours though. This still leaves a little bit of a mound, and you can see the trace on the cup. I'll show you another color. This color may be a little bit thicker, but you see? Leaves a trace. So thicker, definitely thicker than my Dutch pours. And what I'm gonna do, now if you immediately see paint coming out of your cup, then you didn't tape appropriately. That has happened to me as well. Now I'm gonna do alternating colors, and I'm gonna actually kind of dirty pour this into here so that it sinks a little bit and mixes together some. And then others I will layer. So this is just to get a paint reaction, and you guys will see. There we go. And this has no silicone or anything in it. All right, I think I'm gonna go with my light color now. This one you can pour down the side, you could pour in there the same way. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna pour it down the side. And I love that blue color, so this one is sky blue. Now I'm gonna come in with a little bit of my Payne's Gray. And I'm gonna dirty pour this part too. Right on that blue. I'm gonna use the rest of this Payne's Gray in another painting. That's why I mixed up big jugs, because I'm preparing for my show. I'm trying to do multiple paintings per day right now. Have to give them enough time to cure and varnish. Okay, now I'm gonna go with this beautiful cerulean blue. I'm gonna pour this, I think, on this other side over here. And I've just noticed that, oh my gosh. Do you guys see what that caused right there? Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. It's gorgeous. Oh, that's so pretty. So I'm back to using Creative Inspirations for these types of pours, because I really like the reaction that I get when I thin them out just a little bit. Okay, I think I'm gonna I really like this color. I think I'll do that. You don't need a full cup, so this is all I'm gonna do. Okay, and that is how I do my cups. So I will take you in on the corners. Look at how beautiful that is. That is just regular. When you do a straight pour and you mix the colors together, those beautiful cells will come up just naturally. But the depth from all those colors kind of blending together, to me, it's just really, really pretty. It's so organic looking. The little clusters, that's from where I torched and stretched. This right here is where I added that little line of interest with the palette knife. And I really like that as well. Overall, I really, really like it. I like the composition. It's really pretty. All right, so I think the first person I ever saw do this was Christina Welch and maybe Anne Osborne with their flip and drags, and they were just so beautiful, and I loved it. All right, I'll show you the dried result. How beautiful is this? I think my favorite part is the swirl that goes all the way through and comes back up. And this corner right there. Love it. This was so much fun. Oh, just back to kind of how I started. Gorgeous. I'm going to be playing around a lot more. This one's for my show. But yes, just stunning. I love the dark blue in there as well. I feel like it really makes it pop. The colors are really, really rich. The little clusters, there's no silicone in this. Those are just kind of little density cells that popped up. Stretched out. Look at that. So interesting. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Happy painting. Bye.